For you who have been here before and those who are new, the cloth of creation calls are with the intent of helping all to remember that we are one, and that the energetic is what we call the cloth of creation. The energetic itself is the raw stuff of creation, and through even the instinct of something causes the energetic to move and create. So we've been looking at this from not so much on your own personal life, but of course certainly do that because it does affect all. We are looking at it as the global consciousness. How is the global cloth, the Pachamama, the Mother Earth's cloth, being affected in the world today? What's happening in the world today? What is in Aini, the Quechua word for reciprocity? What is out of balance? What is intact? What is not? What we've been doing is we've been journeying to see the Kepacha. The Kepacha is the energetic realm of the Mother Earth or the Pachamama. Let us say the cloth, the energetic cloth that surrounds her. So what has happened to this? Is it intact? Is it not? Some of it is, some of it isn't. And by this journeying, you've been able to see, perceive, what just actually the condition of that cloth is. And it is a whole lot brighter than many have ever expected to see. Why is that? Because we who are those of the light, known as many terms, light workers, etc., we are one. And we know that, whether we know that intuitively or we know that instinctually, but not consciously, we do know that. So in the moment, from the very smallest, tiniest, seemingly unimportant act in your life, that may be simply opening the door for someone who, for some reason, can't open the door for themselves. Perhaps that's just by passing someone and smiling. Can be that small. May not seem big, may not seem important, but it is. And you know how you know that? Because you feel it. You do feel it. And that is the thing that is so very, very important, that you feel it. And you know, that's not through the feeling of the emotional body of the lower self human. There are primal senses. There are the story-laden emotions of the lower self. Even as you're hearing this, we are working at the energetic even now, folks. We're not alone. We're doing this together. So now it has come to me today because as the call, the Monday comes and I ask the sacred ones of light, what is it that is brought to the cloth of creation tonight? And this is what I was given for today. How is it that whatever you're bringing to the world, whether you're working or not, whether you have a family or you don't, whatever it is that you're doing, are you doing that through information? Are you doing that only through the stories, the beliefs you have been given of what you're supposed to do? Are you, as they say, staying within the line? Or are you taking on the embodiment of what you know? Whether you're a teacher or you're a doctor or you're a nurse or you're a janitor or you're whatever it is that you are you being that? Completely embodying that, passionately, pulsing vitality, embodiment of it? Or are you just simply taking it through the information of what a teacher is supposed to be, or what a homemaker is supposed to be, or a any role? Are you taking it through the role or through the embodiment? That makes the difference. Anybody who's been to doctors, not all of them are healers. Not all of them can be healers. They might have that possibility somewhere, but they're not utilizing that because they've been to med school and they have brought forth what they have come to know. The medical community serves a great and valuable purpose in our society and our communities as it stands today. So how would it be, folks, to have alongside the medical community as we know it today in mainstream, if we had healers, if we had shamans, if we had energy workers? That is happening more and more today, and that's a wonderful thing to know. It is actually happening. But how would it be if one were to look at the staff of any medical practice or any hospital and not only see the mainstream medical people and all that they have, all that wealth of knowledge and information they have, side by side equally, the healers, the shamans, the energy workers? How would that be? That's what we are working in this cloth of creation, in this energetic, so that one is not more than another. One is not better or worse than another. Rather that we are equal, and equally in that cloth of creation, in that energetic, it weaves into a beautiful, pulsing vitality cloth of iony, perfect reciprocity. How would it be if the personality was put aside and that we all come together as one? So it came to me to bring that forth today, is to that being the embodiment of what you know. Otherwise, it stays information and can and often is sourced through the personal. Now we get to that part, the P word. Okay. What happens when a person goes personal? Defenses come up. Because now a person has to defend his or her way of thinking, his or her right to do a thing. When the personal is set aside, there's no need to do that. Nothing is challenged. It is simply seen in the light, because what does the light do? It shines on all. And together we can do that. And why can we do that? Because we are one. We don't have to connect. We already are. And that is the magic that is alive and well in the world today. So, Joseph, I am going to ask you to open the lines for just a couple of moments to hear what people have to say about that. And then we're going to take a bit of a journey. We're going to see the Cape Hatcha tonight, but we're also going to take a journey for those of you, for you to have a look where it is that you have sourced through the personal and where you have not. And it may not be as what you think it is. So, what does anyone in those words that were just spoken, what did you feel about that? What have you got?
I don't think that I have done anything really except give myself to the world. I haven't been a doctor. I haven't been a nurse. I'm not Allison, the social worker. I became a parent instead. And I didn't even do that right. But I didn't even do that right.
Okay, but see, this is just what we are talking about. Rather than sourcing through the right or wrong, through the lower self stories of the human, for all the beliefs and all the old stories are, but rather soaring above that, knowing what you know, knowing that what you brought to the world is how you did it. There's no right or wrong about it. Only when people put a judgment on themselves, they put themselves in a position to be judged. So instead of judging yourself, see what it is. All of you who are with us tonight, have a look. What do you know? What did you, through what you've done in your life, how does that now, as you look back through all of that, how do you know, what do you know about it? It has certainly taught you. It has certainly shown you what is so, what is not, what works, what doesn't. It has brought you to a stronger state. Because, folks, if it hadn't, you wouldn't be here tonight. And it's that strong, and it's that true. You know, there was some posting on Facebook a while ago. I laughed and I had to share it. Was one that said it's something about where if everything you've gained in life makes you stronger, I should be able to bench press a Buick. Well, and that's very true. I think I could probably bench press a subway train. So, but you see, that's the thing, is to gain. Look at what it is you have gained. So how about the rest of you?
For one, I got through cancer. I got through... I think I'm a very strong person. My home burned down. My husband died. My children were taken away from me, all within the same year and a half. And I think I've come out the other end pretty strong, happy. I'm happy now.
And you're here. You're with us tonight.
Yeah, I'm alive. My husband's not.
You are, but you see,
right.
Here is what's very, very important in this, and you can mute the calls again, please, Joseph.
Yeah.
Okay. Got him?
Almost. Go ahead.
Okay. This is what's very, very important, folks, is yes, every one of us has gone through all sorts of experiences in our life, from the whole gamut, in all different forms, maybe in different ways, but we all have, in some way, some shape or form. This is where, when we're in the strands that we are working with tonight, being the embodiment rather than the information. The information is the story that tells you that what's happened in your life has assigned roles to you, identities, has given you judgments and criticisms. But that is the lower self stories, the old beliefs. When we wake up in our conscious, we realize that we are much more than the stories of our lives would have us believe. Much more than that. So now we have a conscious choice to fall into those stories and let the shadows or the unfinished business that's within us take over and make everything personal, and to assign those roles. Or we can step up and say, no, I don't have to do that, and I'm not going to do that because I'm not doing it from this moment on. What I know is that, yeah, I went through all that stuff. I went through the dark night of the soul, and what I know now is that I came out the other side into the light laughing and singing, because you know what? I have song in my soul again. I have music in my heart again. And it's my music. And because I know that all other, I can listen. I hear the music in everyone else's heart, the sound in everyone else's soul. Because I have finally been able to hear my own. I don't have to hurt anymore. I have learned from hurt. I don't have to learn through hurt anymore. I did that part, and I don't like it. I want to do that part again. If I'm going to learn, I'm going to find a way that it's going to hurt. I don't have to hurt anymore, and I'm not going to do it. I'm going to learn because that seeds all. Knowledge is not owned by anyone, so by each of us fully learning, knowing, continue to grow, expand, evolve. That helps all. And now we're making a conscious choice of how we're going to learn. Did that hurt? Shadow stuff? Did that, done it. And I don't want the T-shirt on that one. So now what I'm doing is I'm looking up. I'm looking at what I have, what I've come to know, and taking that into the embodiment of what I know now. So no longer does it just sit outside of me. It doesn't. It sits within me. And because it is within me, it shines without. And that means that I could be just in the store buying tomatoes, and it's felt. So instead of choosing the role of victim, of being in any way, shape, or form, being less than who and what you are, you can make another choice. See, that can happen where when we go through things, that we can forget that we can make other choices. We can always make another choice. There can be times where we feel trapped and forget that. But remember now, you can always make another choice. And that simple choice can change the rest of your life. And it starts with a change of thought. It starts with a change of being. What is it that you've been wanting to do, and for whatever reason you're not doing? There may be reasons that seem legitimate, but they're not, and there may be reasons that truly are. But by being conscious and perceiving, you make choices that are true. How do you do that? Through the higher perceptual primal self. No longer through that lower self human who wants to stay safe. Illusions of safety, but wants to stay safe. In a comfort zone, that again is an illusion. So we have to keep moving. You know, a person told me many years ago, he said, there are no graduates. That's completely so. When we always say, there's always another peak in that mountain, another ridge, and we're all walking. We are one, so that means that we are all on this hike together. So that means that we can reach to those who are ahead of us to help us move up, and we can reach behind us to those who are behind us to help them to move on. How about that? We can do this. And you know something? It's real, folks. It's actually real. So we're going to take a little journey in a few minutes where you can have a look at what it is that you forgot and what it is that you can pick up again, but in its new, evolved form, not in the way it had been, because that was covered with stories and beliefs. If you were to take all that outer off, what's left? It's pure energy. It's pure form. And that is where your higher perceptual primal self can see that. So, Joseph, before we move into this journey, we're going to unmute the phones for a moment, hear what anyone has to say, and anyone else who may have joined in. Let me know. You're unmuted.
Yep, we're good.
Okay. What do you know about that, folks? Any of you? Anything? Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to, you can mute them again then?
What?
Now we're going to journey a bit to have a look at where it is, what it is that you have forgotten. And how does this help the global energetics, the global consciousness? How does this help us all? Anything other than you? Because we are all one. What you do now can help all others. By you getting clear without story and feeling the embodiment of delight, of relief, of knowing that you don't have to carry the burden all by yourself, by knowing that you can move on. That's how you help others. So yeah. You don't have to work this so much. Just see what you see. No engagement of it, rather than just seeing what you see. And knowing that if it is you choose to pick up what you have forgotten in its new, evolved, clean form now, you can do that if you choose to. So now I'm going to ask all of you to center and ground. And be fully here, fully present. Center and ground now. Center, ground, be fully here. Knowing you are on safe ground, that the sacred ones of light are with us, the sacred guardians of light are with us. The women are with us, the sacred women have come. Sacred men are here. And as you permit them, they will come forth to help you as you travel. Knowing that you do not have to carry this burden alone, you never did. And knowing that a lot of what has felt like a burden was never yours, and that can be given back with love and gratitude and compassion to those who laid it at your feet. For you have learned much from it. And let go. Gently, gently. See what is there. It's your choice whether you will pick up that which you have forgotten in its new, evolved form or not. We go to the river and we sit at its edge. Washing what has come and yourself. Delighting at its colors, its pulsing vitality. The lightness it is. How light this is. Because you see the shadows, the unfinished business. All that has not been yours, that never was, is washed away now. Tell the women and the men who are helping you and the spirits of light who dwell in this place, the sacred ones of light who dwell there. Thank you. With deep love, deep gratitude, they have come and guided you. Leave an offering. Leave a gift for them. Leaving gifts. Return now, gently, to your current physical body. Fully returning into your physical body, your current physical body in this time and place. Fully here, fully centered, fully grounded. Call on the Pachamama, the Mother Earth, to hold you, returning you to your physical bodies. And in a moment, Joseph will open the phones again, and any of you who wish to say anything of the journey just taken and what you have come to see is how it is felt throughout the energetic cloth. The energetic itself of the Pachamama, the K-Pacha. You may do so. You can open the lines. Any of you like to say anything about the journey just taken?
I am totally cleansed with my own tears.
Yeah. Call on the Pachamama. Call on the Pachamama, the Mother Earth. Let her hold you. Let her hold you. And with joy, with delight, the release of the burdens carried. Let those tears of joy now, of delight, let them become still. Let them come, but let them be still at the same time. What have you come to know?
Tears.
Yes. Yes. Any of you?
The earth being damaged by people's mouths.
Okay, don't go back into the stories. Don't engage the stories. Just know what you know. What have you gained? What have you come to know now? What is the delight? What have you gained that now not only serves you but serves all? You see, this is what's bringing it up to the highest, to the purest quintessence. This is the pure, rather than staying in the lower self story. What have you gained?
I felt loved.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Ari.
It's fine.
Very good. How about the rest of you? Anybody? Okay. Then let us move on. Because with what you have just done now, all of you, we're going to take that journey to the K-Pacha, the energetic realm, and just see, perceive, just in this small group that we are, how it is that has affected the K-Pacha, the energetic realm, even just that. And knowing that we're not alone, that there are other groups all over the world that are doing similar ways in this moment right now. And this is the delight, that no, we are not alone. So I'm going to ask you to mute one more time, Joseph.
All right.
We're all muted?
We're good.
All right. As we are standing, feeling the Pachamama under our feet, knowing that we are centered and grounded and that she is holding us, we fly now. We soar up from her lands, above her forests, her mountains, her oceans, her waters, her plains, her deserts. We go high now into her skies, past her mountains, past her clouds. So we break free now. Being carried and guided by star condor, on the wings of star condors. We look now at the Pachamama. We see her energetic flow, the K-Pacha, the Seke, the Saiwas. This energetic flow, these energetic rivers, pure energy. Perceive them. Perceive where it is bright, where it is not. The colors, perhaps the sounds and the textures, the weight, and more. Engage nothing. Observe only. Seeing this flow. Perceive with what you have just done. Perceive how it has moved through that river, those energetic rivers. Perhaps it is that you can perceive others throughout the world doing the very same thing in whatever forms they're doing it in. Where is it bright? Where is it not so much? Where is it freely flowing, these rivers of energy, of the energetic? Where is it not? The factions that are in the world that do harm. Those who come together in the light, working together. Those forms known as the viruses, Ebola, and all those others. Perceive that energetically. Do not engage. And know that even now, even as we're working in the these energetic flows, just through intent, clearing can happen. Not as you would have it or I would have it or any person, one person would have it, but as is known through the highest, purest quintessence. We are one. Putting the personal aside. And knowing what we know as the vessels of light, the guides of light that we are. With the intent of light, simply that. Sending light, simply the light itself. And even now, as we come back now, on the wings of Star Condor, giving our thanks and gratitude to Star Condor and the sacred ones of light, we return now. Back to the Pachamama, past her clouds, through her skies, past her mountains, as we fly past her rivers and her oceans and her plains and her deserts and her forests, the wooded places. We return now fully into our bodies, in our current physical bodies, in this place and time. We return fully into our bodies, knowing what we know, knowing that we are strengthened by remembering that we are one. You may open the phones, Joseph.
All right.
Hey, folks, what did you see this time at the K-Pacha? Any of you who have traveled with us before and you who are new, what do you know now?
Well, this time I could really just get a definite feel for the areas where it was the energy and the energetic was more open and flowing, and where it was kind of stagnating, and I could just see that in different places.
Anyone else?
It's Cindy, and I got disconnected and had to call back. But I definitely saw what has been getting in my way before, when we were just at the river's edge in the beginning. And then when I was able to dial back in, it looked totally different from last week. Completely and totally different. More dim and squiggly.
Okay. Glad to have you with us again. How about the rest of you?
Yeah, I saw colors of deep purple, and that was the darkest was along the edges, and they were squiggly. And then I saw red and gold, and there was just some darkness in between. no color.
And what did you find that to mean? What did you find that to mean? What did you perceive its meaning to be?
It's movement. I don't really know. I saw that it kind of like water moving fast.
Okay.
And going in one direction.
I'm grinning because it is not always very easy to articulate what it is that you see. that happens quite often. We see it and now we have to tell it. Now, why do we have to tell it? Because that is the most easily recognizable media for people to understand things, words.
Right.
So by you saying that you knew it to be movement, moving rapidly, yes, that
Definitely.
tells us at the end, beautiful, that tells us that the energy, you perceive the energetic movement itself. Wonderful.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Good.
How about the rest of you?
What I was able to see, Jacqueline, was actually the things that I did have to push away in order to get clearance for myself. And it was sort of surrounded in a puffy type of light, but moving down almost to the lower part. And it made me feel a lot clearer. What I was able to get from that was that I'm able to recognize when the lower self, more so now, is attempting to cause interference in where my higher self is supposed to. It's taking me. And I guess I was a little afraid of that at first, but it brought me a lot of comfort. And towards the end, it did get dark again, and then the energy came back, but not in a dark way, obviously in a lighter way.
Beautiful.
And that's where I'm at right now.
Well done. Well done. About the rest of you. Anybody? Okay. When the lower self, all of our lives, we have always been able to intuitively know what's going on. The lower self gets in the way. The human gets in the way because it gets scared. So it gets in there and throws in the what ifs. But if we do that, all the fear stuff, okay? How do we know that? Well, it can be that. That can be certainly one of the carriers, certainly. So what happens, you've known this all your life. How do you know the difference? How can you make the choice to perceive, engage life through the higher perceptual self rather than continuing through the lower self-human? How can you do that? You already know how to do that. And you know why? Because you recognize that when it's the lower self-human getting scared, throwing in that fear, there's a lot of chatter. There's a feeling of unease, even queasiness, but not feeling safe. A lot of chatter. When it's the higher self, that's also known as spirit within, higher self, luminous self. There's many different names. We're saying higher perceptual primal self. When you are sourcing through that, it's clear. There's no chatter. It's clear. It's simply it is or it is not. It is intact. No, it is not. That's all. Clear, clean, simple. So you already know that. So now that you're more conscious of that, in your lives, in your everyday lives, when things are going on and that lower self wants to get in there and keep itself safe, you can know what's happening. Not this time. I got this. I use a phrase, and it's been said here in the call, and maybe some of you are using it yourself, but I find that when my lower self wants to get itself in a chattering mood, I will say to it, stop it, drop it, move on. Absolutely. I got this. Mm-hmm. Stop it, drop it, move on. And if she just doesn't want to quit, I tell her, stop it, drop it, step back. I got this. And you do that with love. You do this with the gentle strength that you are. This is where the magic that's within you becomes alive. It enlivens you. And that chatter stops. And one of the many gifts that comes with that is your lower self learns. Nothing happened. We did that anyway, and nothing happened. Wow. This is cool. I like this. So it is eliminating, or I should say, releasing those old stories, those old beliefs that were never your own, given to you by those many who did the best they could with what they knew, but it was not yours, and to know it was never about you. And that you can give all that back with love, compassion, and gratitude because it did teach you much. Thank you. This is yours. I give it back to you. And now you have cleaned your ground, opened it up. Now you can till your garden as you know it to be because you're being guided now by the higher perceptual primal self. You're not being told through the information of the lower self of the right way to do things. Okay, how does this help the K-Pacha? How does this help the world? How does it help beyond this place? Because by each and every one of us becoming conscious and clear and sourcing through that higher perceptual primal self, we step away from sourcing through that lower self-personal, and that is what runs through that those energetic rivers. So it doesn't have to be choppy waters anymore. It doesn't have to be dim waters anymore. It doesn't have to be polluted waters anymore because you have become clear. Okay, so the question is how does one person make a difference? Well, if you look at any shoreline, it's made up of billions, trillions beyond grains of sand. But each and every one makes up that shoreline. And that's how we are. Each and every one of us is necessary. Each and every one of us has full worth and full value, equally with all others and all things. So what have you come to know? Because I know we're getting close to the end of the call. So what have you got, anybody? What did you come to know about what it is, just how important it is, what you're coming to know, and what you're seeing, perceiving as it's helping the world and beyond? Anybody?
Even just me doing the right thing to help other people. It's almost like a chain reaction.
Yes.
Good
way to put that.
Yeah, I'm going to, and I do every day try to help somebody.
And that can be something as simple as opening a door.
Yeah.
Simple as walking down the street and smiling at someone.
Pouring someone a cup of coffee.
And anything that is done purely.
Of service.
Without attachment. That's right.
Right.
How about the rest of you?
Really, I feel the same way, and she just put it perfectly to me. Just the pure ability to just be to just communicate on a daily basis as positive as possible, without being superficial, I guess. Just to be purely honest. And then it's as simple as you said earlier, a simple hello, a good morning. On a regular basis, people that you see in your neighborhood, and so on and so forth.
That's right. That's simple. It doesn't have to be big. Our society has said that, taught people that in order for something to have value, it has to be big. It has to have all the bells and whistles. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. What we know is that very tiny, teeny little wisp underneath everything else can create the whole foundation. And that's what we know. And that's why these calls are continuing, and I am delighted that all of you want that. And how would it be, folks? Now, you see, we're talking about bringing these things into our everyday, ordinary lives. That is as equally important as for us to formally get together in formal sacred ceremony and actually come together in our physical bodies and showing up somewhere together and coming in formal sacred ceremony. Any of you who are with us tonight who have come in that form, who have come to ceremonies, have been into journeys, physical journeys, and anything with us, if any of you would speak a little bit of what you have come to know, why that is essential, along with your everyday, ordinary magics that you've been doing.
Well, I would say in my experience with ceremony, it's something you really won't understand until you're there and you're doing it and you're feeling it and you're experiencing it. Doing work over on a conference, is one thing, but to be able to bring this work completely together and completely intact, and even to a more subtle level than what we have now, even to a level where you can recognize really, really finite things that are going on and processes that are going on in your own life, in your own mind, and begin to really understand what it is and how it's affecting you, and how to understand what's really going on there, and just how to really bring what's there out. It's a different process, and sacred ceremony to me is something very special. It is like taking the energies of this call and this experience and just amplifying it so much, and just bringing it together in a way that we can't quite do in the same way over the phone, but it is very essential and important, and, I'll be there.
Yes, that's so. Anybody else with us who's been? Well, let's make it happen then, huh? And how about any of you else who are here with us who have been in sacred formal ceremony with us? Anything you want to share? Anybody else who's here who's done that?
Yeah, this is Linda Salvador. I would like to share that it's like waking up from well, to me what we're living now is it's like we're dreaming, but it just wakens up what we already know, and it's like it's a life-changing event. It's magical. It's really, it's kind of hard to describe, like Joseph was saying, but it's the times that I've gone for the workshop, I found myself, because unless you just leave all the other chitter-chatter and all the stuff that was weighing you down, and you're in another space, in another place in your head and in your body. And so I found myself when it was time to leave on Sunday, like not really wanting to leave, to come back to, the chitter-chatter. But now, finally, after so long, I have been blessed to have finally found that place now where the chitter-chatter, I've learned to stop it. It's what I say. It's like a movie when you're doing a movie on a set and they say cut. When I start to hear any chatter, I mean just a little slight, and I know it's off and I know it's not correct, I immediately say cut. It's not acceptable anymore. I'm not allowing this. I've even found myself in the last couple speaking to neighbors that I never spoke to because I felt their energy before and they felt it wasn't right, and it doesn't matter about what I was feeling anymore. I was like, hello, and I'm like, what the heck, is this still me? It's like I left my body, but it feels fantastic.
Awesome.
It's overwhelming.
Thank you. Yes.
That's what I've been looking for my whole life, is that feeling of feeling, great. I've been looking for that in other ways, though, in pills and drugs,
Yes, but you see, that is the lower self, physical self,
of course,
who is afraid. So it looks to anything to keep it safe, and that's all shadow, unfinished stuff. But now that you're becoming conscious, you don't have to do it that way anymore. And
Absolutely.
I can tell you something. Let me just share this as we're getting close to the end of our call today. Is the very first time I went to Peru. Okay, Joseph, you can mute the lines, please, for a moment. Got him?
Yep.
Are we all set? Yep.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. Let me say this to you folks. Many of us can be sitting in our homes and we can be looking around and we can say, I want to go home. Yet you're sitting in where you live. I can tell you that the very first time I went to Peru, I was in a plane and we're circling over Lima Airport. I could feel the very land itself calling to me, you're home. We're glad you have come home. In every bit of my being, and the very DNA all the way, we're home, we're home. Tears cascading down my face. We're home. The sense of vast relief is indescribable. When we finally got on ground and then went up to Cusco, when we came out of the plane in Cusco and we met the Quero, who are the pure blood descendants of the Inca, they came over to me, took my hands, looked into my eyes, and said, we are your family. You are of our family. We have missed you. Welcome home. Even now, tears come to my eyes. So I say to you folks, do you know where your home is? Perhaps that has been not even conscious, but perhaps it's time to come home, wherever that might be. So we're going to open the phones once more as the call comes to the end, so people can say what they will before we do end for the night. Go ahead.
We're here.
Okay, folks?
Yeah.
Where's home? Where do you know home to be? What did that say to you?
lots of homes.
How about any of you?
Yeah. Linda Salvador again. I know when I first came to your place for healing, and I walked in, and you had a picture on your mantle, and it was a picture of the mountain, Monte Picchu, and I picked it up, and tears just flowed down my face. Mm-hmm. And the energy from the picture almost knocked me down. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't understand, why am I crying looking at a mountain? But it was something within my spirit, my whole being, that resonated with that mountain. So I felt at that time that was like coming home. It was waking something up inside of me that I had forgotten.
Yes.
It was really real. I'll never forget it. And I'm glad I experienced it.
Well, so that means next year you're coming to Machu Picchu with us, right, Linda? So I'll put your name on the sheet right now. I'll do that tomorrow. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah. Yes.
Okay,
folks. Yes.
My place I'm thinking is New Orleans. I don't know why, but I've been trying to get there, and I haven't made it. But from what I know of it, and I'm not just talking about the liquor and the Mardi Gras people, but I just think there is something that is, that particular area, something's drawing me there, and I'm going to make it there.
You have to make it happen. Got to make it happen. There is, let me say this to you folks, there have been times where people I know who go to Peru, just as I do, will say to me, they'll come back and they'll say, were you in Cusco last week? Mm-hmm. And usually I will say no. They'll say, I saw you on the street. Mm-hmm. I saw you on the street. And yes, because you see, my physical body catches up to where my spirit always is. Mm-hmm. So it's always there. Mm-hmm. So we can continue to work with this. How does it work with the global consciousness? How does it work with what we're doing in these Cloth of Creation calls? As each and every one of us wakes up and becomes conscious, knowing how vital it is, seriously vital it is, that we come together in the one that we are, in our home together. That can change most everything.
There were 2 little girls in my class when I was in elementary school, and they were from Peru. They were twins. They were so sweet. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I saw Peru on television. Saw you.
Yes. Well,
I love the news.
I could tell you.
I love it.
I could tell you all sorts of all of experiences that we've had down there in Peru, but it will be nothing like the first time your feet step on the ground. And I know, Joseph, you've been to Peru with us. I don't know of anyone else on the call. Maybe you have. But you know what it was like in the first moment when we stepped out of the plane in Cusco.
Yeah, it's another world, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I said it's another world from what I'm used to, that's for sure.
That's right. That's right. It is. It most certainly is. And the good news is that we're going there several times next year. So maybe several of you can come with us to the different places.
Do you go into the jungle?
Yes. We're going to Iquitos. We have 2 jungle journeys next year. one to Iquitos, which is the northern part of the Amazon, and the southern part into Puerto Maldonado. So we are going both places.
What would you need to do to prepare for the trip?
Well, that I can go into at another time. Okay. And I will say that it depends on where you're going to go. There is clear intent. Align yourself to Peru, into the mountains, into the jungles, wherever you're going. But all of these will be on the website.
Okay.
And Joseph, get your fingers ready because you're getting a lot of stuff coming to you. He's been taking care of our website, so and you'll be getting notified about all that stuff. But anyway, as we complete our call, anyone else would like to bring something about our work this evening in bringing the cloth of creation, the Kepacha of the Pachamama, into a intact, higher, clearer, purer state? Anyone like to add anything?
I just can't wait to go out into the world tomorrow with my new feelings and just I just know, and just the way I just let go, and I'm not a crier, but that didn't even feel like crying. That felt like a washing.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
That wasn't sadness. That I was smiling.
Magnificent.
And I felt great, and I saw all different things.
Well, I'm delighted that you finally joined us. I'm glad you finally joined us, Allison. And how about the rest of you? Anyone else would like to say something before we bring our call to a close?
Okay.
All right. Well, these are going to continue on the Monday nights, and I would be delighted and honored if you all continue to join us, and more the merrier. The cloth that we're weaving together becomes brighter and richer and more pulsing with the vital life when there's more people weaving together. So that would be wonderful. Thank you all, folks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Have a wonderful night.
Good night, everyone. Thanks for having me.
Okay. Glad you're here. See you again. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Good night, Fran. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.